Spring Loves, Part 1. The most beautiful memory of my vacations in Tangancícuaro. One Sunday, in April, in 1988, a group of young students from different countries went on an excursion to visit a beautiful lake in Mexico, called Lake Camécuaro, located specifically in the municipality of Tangancícuaro, which it is 44 minutes from Tangamandapio, state of Michoacán, Mexico. Here begins the unforgettable love story. I was one of those guys who loved solitude. He never socialized with anyone. For me, making friends was something I did not know. They called me the weirdo of the class, perhaps not because I was the ugly duckling, but yes, because I was the Lone Ranger, in person. While the boys from my school all went together like penguins after a tourist guide, who apparently already had everything he was going to say, written in his mind like a script. I ignored the line and left it, shortly after entering, taking advantage of an oversight by my teacher, when she went to greet a Mexican friend. As soon as I left that tedious caravan, I felt alive again, and taking advantage of the moment I went and hid behind a beautiful tree, in front of the lake, where I lay down comfortably. A few seconds after being there, I closed my eyes for a while, to better feel the fresh air of that beautiful place, when suddenly a very tender little hand touched my shoulder, saying, "Sorry, are you bored, like me?" I'm not going to lie to you, I felt some momentary fear when it touched me. I thought it was someone in charge of the excursion, who would demand that I return to the group. But as I opened my eyes and began to see its physical details, I was filled with a feeling of attraction at first sight, that there are no words to express it. As I was lying down, the first thing I saw were her pretty legs. I remember that she had very short and extremely tight pants. Looking up a little, my eyes were puzzled to see her delicate skin, that tender beach navel and her majestic guitar-shaped waist. How to forget that pink blouse, covering her bust? Like loot that doesn't hide much of its two perfect treasures. Although that was not all I saw. The real amazement was when I could see her beautiful and unique face. This girl had the most beautiful eyes my irises have ever seen. His deep green color and his look of compassion, innocence and kindness made me shiver. In that instant, my stomach was filled with hundreds of flying butterflies. After having asked me if I was bored like her, because of all the impression she caused to me and my nerves as the most mischievous and disloyal companions, I could only reply, "Hello." While she kept talking to me, the truth is I don't remember what she said to me, since I stared at her perfect figure. I will never forget her dazzling long hair, which moved from here to there, because of the breeze, nor, I will forget that delicate way of speaking, much less her beautiful lips will leave my mind. She was neither very thin nor very fat. If I were a fashion designer I would have said, her body is 90-60-90, but since I am not, I say that she was the perfect woman. She was standing to my left, apparently she had reached down to touch my shoulder, while I enjoyed the cool breeze. But I must say, when I opened my eyes, I felt better than when I enjoyed the breeze and the solitude on the lake. Stuttering, I told him, "You want to sit down for a while?" And she said, "Yes, I would love to." This being the best answer I have heard in my short life. I made her a seat, wearing a sweater that I took out of my bundle, and she humbly sat next to me. He immediately asked me, "What is your name?" I answered him, "My name is José." She said, "What a religious coincidence, my name is Maria." "Where are you from?" he asked again. I understood that she wanted to know everything about me, or perhaps, just basic personal information, to gain confidence. I said, "I'm Dominican, but I live in Canada," and I added, "What about you?" So that, it didn't feel like that I wasn't interested in hearing from her. His answer was, "I was born in Venezuela, but I have lived in Spain for 5 years." She continued her questioning. "How old you?" And why did you leave the group while the guide to his work? I replied, I am 17 years old and I got out of the caravan because it bores me to be in the crowd. She added, I understand you, I am like that, just like you. I mean, I also dislike groups, and unlike you, I am 16 years old. The talk continued, questions come and answers go, as the chemistry flowed with each word. It was as if each listened to the other, what they wanted and felt at the same time being with the person they wanted. The truth is, I don't know if those in charge of the excursion were looking for us, but nothing mattered to me more than being with Maria, and as I noticed, she felt the same way. In a few minutes I realized, according to the attention she paid me, that, for her, the most important thing on that excursion was my company. It was so long we shared, under that tree, that we even got hungry. And we decided to go somewhere to have breakfast. I stood up and invited him. I gave him my hand to lift her, and when we decided to start walking, she came back and held my hand, as if friendship was more than just friends. And that we had not even given a kiss on the cheek. I couldn't stop feeling the butterflies in my stomach. I don't know if she felt that way too, although yes, she showed it to me. Every time I spoke to her she looked me in the eye and secretly at my lips. When I finished speaking, she smiled at me. I've never really met a girl like this in my life. She was like, the whole package of the perfect girl in one person, the same person that held me down and made me a part of her life. In simple words, a wish come true, the culprit that I divorced from loneliness. Feeling his hand next to mine was like obtaining eternity in paradise, a unique sensation. His hand was so tender, like the skins of a baby. It felt small and soft and warm. Also, the way he held me, it was like never wanting to let go. And likewise, I didn't want him to. We arrived at the restaurant, had breakfast, and after resting, while we continued talking, we decided to go to a bridge on the lake that we saw on the excursion map. By the way, the place was opposite to the route of the school caravan. When we left the place we continued as who says, in love as friends. Apparently we were, for each other. At that moment, anyone who looked at us, would have seen on our faces, the aura of joy, having met us. In conclusion, although we were not fruits, each one found his better half. Arriving at the place, to the bridge of the lake, she released my hand and ran to show me, that we had already arrived, to the place that we located on the map. That moment was beautiful, not only because of how she looked in those shorts when running, but also because of the joy that was seen on her face, of wanting to be the first to show me the destination, where we had chosen to go. I followed her somewhat quickly, but she was faster than me. Although in reality, I would always have wanted to go behind her, as well as someone who stays in a room overlooking the sea, to enjoy the natural landscape in front. The only thing that in this case the natural landscape, was her beautiful figure. Maria proved to be very funny. He grabbed my hands and said, José, dance with me to the sound of this cool breeze. It was a joke to me, what he had just said. But, I did not laugh or say anything at the time. I did not want to judge such a beautiful joke, with useless words, that could ruin that beautiful and special moment. What I did was say, let's dance. I do not know, if someone saw us dance to the melody of the wind, but I felt like a prince from fairy tales, when he dances the theme of the final part, in the Disney movies. And what would I care if they saw us dance? I was with the girl of my life, and she did not care about anything, nor anyone at that moment, but only me. The ranger who fell in love and stopped being lonely. To be continue. Tell me in the comment box below if you liked this first part of this cute love story called, Spring Loves, first part. Yes, you also wanted to know more about this novel, about love at first sight. Here is the link to continue reading its second part. Blessings.